Greetings, cyberdogs and citizens of the internet, and welcome back to episode 16 of this Let's Play Modern Minecraft Survival Stories 3 series with me, ReNDoG. In the previous episode, we were working on some Star Trek sliding doors for our brand new Cyberlabs 2.0. And in this episode, my friends, we've got a ton of little finicky things to do, including finishing off that door and trying to figure out how we're going to complete the rest of the cyber laboratory tunnelage. It's going to be absolutely awesome. Sit back and relax, man. It is time for some modded Minecraft. I've been busy. Yeah. As you can see, I've been busy, man. I have been slowly but surely upgrading the tunnels of what used to be this Meteor Man cave into a sweet-ass laboratory. Started down here with the redstone furnace facility, excuse me. And as you can see, I've just pimped it out a little bit, man. Looking pretty good, isn't it? I think it looks awesome. I've given each of the redstone ferni its own vent. And yeah, it kind of just looks like a cool little room where all of the smeltage happens in the laboratory. It looks pretty cool. I've been applying the same sort of builds and so on to some of the other rooms around this place. I'm going to take you through them to show you exactly what I have done off camera for the last few days. It's starting to look really, really awesome, guys. But before we do that, I've got a couple of announcements that I want to make with regards to Survival Stories 3. The first bit of good news is that we have finally upgraded to 1.0.3. For those of you guys who are playing Survival Stories 3, you are probably on the latest version, but we've been on an older version for some time now because Iskal's been too damn lazy to freaking update the server. No, I'm kidding. Iskal's been ill, so he doesn't get the blame for it. But we are on the brand new version of this server, which is amazing. And I'm super, super happy because it's been optimized. There's a whole bunch of bugs that got sorted out, which makes me really happy. So thanks, Iskal, for updating the server. And we are now running on the latest version along with all of you guys out there who are playing Survival Stories 3 along with us. So that's really awesome. Another really bit of cool news. Some of you guys may have noticed already, but we have invited someone else to join us on the server, and that someone else is Stress Monster 101. Oh yes, for those of you guys who are with us in KingdomCraft, in the KingdomCraft server, Stress Monster was one of the members of KingdomCraft, and Iskal and I enjoyed playing with her so freaking much that we came together and we decided, you know what, we want this amazing Minecrafter to play Survival Stories 3 with us. Because we just kind of miss her, man. We miss her company, you know? We miss hanging out with her. So we're super happy to invite, Iskal and I are super happy and super proud to invite Stress Monster 101 to the Survival Stories 3 family, and she's doing her own thing. She's gone east and she's setting up her own little Stress Monster base over there. It's really cute. No, it's really, really sweet, man. She's doing a great job out there. So go and check it out, guys. I'll put a link to her channel in the description box below. Go and hit that subscribe button. I think Stress Monster recently just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is amazing. So congratulations to her. And if you are looking for another really awesome Minecrafter, look no further than the Stress Monster. Go and check out her channel, man. She's awesome. So yeah, those are the two announcements that I wanted to make, guys. And let's get cracking with today's episode. I've got some cool stuff to show you. Let's actually start down here in the culinary generator room. Oh baby, it is looking pimped, isn't it? Check it out, man. I wanted to make the little culinary generator array that we set up in the beginning of the season into something that looks more like a power generation thing, you know, something that looks like it's actually generating power. And look at this, it kind of looks like a cell, right? Like a power cell of some kind. I think it looks really, really nice. And obviously I've finished off the facade of the walls of the culinary generator room too. So looking absolutely pimps. Didn't take me too long to do this, so I didn't want to do it on camera. It was a pretty quick build, but I really love how it's turned out, man. I think it's looking awesome. I mean, we might have to install a few more of these as the power requirements of the Cyberlabs 2.0 increase. I've also been working a little bit on the enchanting room over here, trying to figure out exactly how we're going to finish this sucker off. We're going to be doing that in today's episode. It's going to be awesome, man. But it's looking sweet. Why did I put this block down? derp. Okay, but that's looking awesome, right? Yeah, that's looking sweet, man. We're going to be finishing that off today. It's going to be awesome. And obviously down here, I've been working on the redstone furnace facility, so that's looking pretty cool. And for the rest of it, everything else has stayed pretty much the same, I think. Haven't made any major changes around here that you guys need to see. No, everything else is looking pretty much the same. Now, the serious changes that I'm super excited to show you guys have been happening on the door side of things. Oh man, you guys enjoyed the previous episode so much, and you really enjoyed this build too. I want to thank all of you guys for the support, and especially want to thank you all for the help you've been giving me with regards to getting this door sorted out. In the previous episode, we were messing with a whole bunch of redstone cabling, or red alloy cables, I believe, and trying to get this thing figured out. The way that we had it set up last time was that you hit some pressure plates which opened this door and then opened the door behind it to let you out. But there was some major issues with that build, as a lot of you guys pointed out, namely being if you got trapped in the middle, you wouldn't be able to get out. And number two, you had very little control over the doors themselves. So a lot of you guys suggested to change the system to a button system, where you would have to press the button to open the doors. And that's exactly what I've done, and I've worked it out, guys. And man, I'm so super pumped to show you how it works. Now, check it out. I have discovered a something that blew my freaking mind. A carpenter's button. Have a look at this, right? A carpenter's button is exactly the same as a normal Minecraft vanilla button. However, you can texture it. So what I've done is I've used this laboratory block that has the arrow pointing that way to get out. And check it out. If I just right click on that button, it textures the button. And now it looks like one solid button in that single block. Oh man, that's so awesome. Oh man. I can barely contain myself with the awesomeness there. Now check it out, guys. Before I show you all the redstone wiring and whatnot, I have made it work. Have a look at this, baby. Bam! Opens, closes, opens, and we're out. Nice. That is so epic. And the same thing happens from this side. Opens, you can go in. I've also added a button in here that lets you go out. So this one will just open the outside door, and this one will just open the inside door. So things are looking absolutely jazzy in here, aren't they? I'm loving it. Now, one of the suggestions made by many of you cyberdogs, in fact, I think it was one of the most liked comments of the previous episode, was turning this place into more of a decontamination chamber than it was originally, and to actually quite literally make it a decontamination chamber. When you come in here, you drop off your XP into an XP tank, which is underneath these grates, and I want to stick the chests in here too, where we can deposit our ores and then deposit the items that we want to deposit for sorting. And I think that's an absolutely awesome idea. So that is what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be working on the enchanting room and finishing off the doors in today's episode. And hopefully we can get it all done, man. It's going to be amazing. So what do you cyber diggity dogs think of this door texture? Man, I think it looks absolutely awesome, right? It's got that whole Star Trek door feel to it. And it's way better than what I was trying to use last time. I think it just looks so freaking awesome. It really does look like one of those spaceship sliding doors that you see in the movies all the time. I really like that, man. I think it's turned out absolutely beautifully. Still a little bit of work to do here around the facades and whatnot, but yeah, lots of detail work to get to, guys. So we're going to be getting down to some of that in the next coming episodes. But the first thing that I want to do is show you guys the redstone work. Looking a little bit complicated, I know. Let me see if I can actually explain this to you guys without derping out. I mean, it's not too complicated, right? What we needed to do was run a red alloy wire. If we come back here, yes, there it is, from each of the buttons, right? So basically we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different red alloy wire circuits controlling the double doors over here. So if we follow the first red alloy wire for this exit button, right? This alloy wire goes down here, and it comes down here and around the corner, and this is where it connects up with the outside door. So this door gets triggered via this redstone repeater and via this cable, right? Boom, that triggers the outside door. And then it also, that signal from that single button comes to this repeater delay over here, and it goes underneath and across all the way underneath, and it triggers that redstone torch, which triggers the outside doors, right? I'm going to explain a little bit about what's going on here in a moment. it's a little bit complicated, but that is that open button. That's what that open button does. Now, if we come to the outside area, we can follow this red alloy wire. We can see that this comes down all the way into the circuitry of the door via this redstone repeater delay, and of course goes into this torch. So that button opens this torch, which opens the outside doors. The signal also goes through this redstone repeater delay a few seconds later to open these doors, and that's how the doors are opened from that button. Now, the reason that we've got this redstone repeater here is because we need to block the signal coming from that button, right? If we don't have this redstone repeater over here, what will happen is you hit that button on the outside, it'll trigger the circuit, and then it'll trigger it again, because the redstone pulse coming from that button is going to connect up to this circuitry over here, right? So this redstone repeater just acts as kind of a block. It allows the redstone signal to come from this side, but doesn't allow it to come from this side, but it still connects both of the circuits together so that they both get triggered. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it took me about an hour to figure out, and that is about as good as I can explain it. Now, there are a couple more things that I need to show you guys over here, and that is the buttons on the inside of the decontamination chamber. There you can see one of the buttons. The redstone alloy wire comes over the top of all of the redstone circuitry. It bypasses all of the other cabling, and it comes over the top here to open up this door by triggering this block, which turns off that redstone torch, and thus opening these doors over here. So that's obviously the button to get inside, and then there is another button over here to go that way, and you can see that simply just comes down and into this redstone torch, which opens the outside door. So pretty simple for that particular button. But that is the redstone alloy circuitry of our Star Trek sliding doors. And I want to thank all of you guys who have been trying to help me out with this. A lot of you guys have been saying that what we should be doing, is using something called a redstone signaler or something. There is something that we can use that instead of using cables will just send the redstone signal via Wi-Fi basically to trigger the doors. And I really like that. I think it's a really cool idea. But for now, I just want to keep things simple. You know, I don't want to get into the super advanced stuff just yet. Basically the way that I'm playing this series is we're playing it a step at a time, and I would like to enjoy all of the different things that modded Minecraft has to offer. You know, I don't want to just jump straight into the advanced stuff. I want to experience Survival Stories 3 from the beginning all the way through to the top, and I want to try and experiment and play with as many mods as possible, right? Because that's what keeps it fun, and that's what keeps it entertaining. You know, the more mods that you can play with and the more different techniques that you can learn, the better, in my opinion. So thank you all for your, you know, advanced knowledge of modded, and I know that a ton of you guys are much better at modded than I am. But for now, I'm just having fun, man. I'm just really enjoying myself, keeping it nice and simple, and we will definitely get to all of those advanced techniques at some point. Don't you worry your beautiful little faces, okay? But anyway, guys, let's get cracking on our first task for today, I think, which is going to be to complete the decontamination side of the decontamination chamber. Now, what I have done already is I've installed some XP tanks over here. Just broke my own damn red alloy wire circuitry. Good job there, ReNDoG. But I think we're gonna need to do that to start today's episode. And this decontamination tank is going to be sucking the XP directly out of our butthole, which I figured out is exactly what happens, right? Because when you stand on this grid, the XP just comes out of your ass straight into that freaking tank over there, which is kind of strange. Now, what we're going to need to do is find a way to send the XP from this tank into our enchanting facility. And what I want to try and do in today's episode in that enchanting facility is to create some sort of a place where you can collect XP, because the place that we need XP, of course, is in the enchanting facility. So we're going to need to find a way to send all of the delicious XP from this tank into that tank all the way down there, which is going to be kind of cool to figure out if we can do it. And number two, of course, we need to figure out how we are going to get our chests into this decontamination chamber which is going to be one of the biggest challenges, I think. I'm having a few problems trying to figure out where these chests are going to go in our decontamination chamber, my friends. The problems being that if we stick them in the walls of the inside of the decontamination chamber, we're going to wreck some of the symmetry. And as you can see, things are already starting to look a little bit ugly around here. I've just been experimenting with different places that we might be able to place these blocks, or these chests rather. And I don't really want to ruin the beauty of this decontamination chamber. And also the problem is that there's a whole bunch of wiring and stuff behind a lot of these blocks. And I'm thinking that the best place for these chests might be on the roof. I know that sounds kind of weird, but you know, sometimes in these kind of problems, you have to think outside of the box. And I think that that might actually work. Let's have a look. So if we put the chests, for example, here, in this location, we're going to have to do a little bit of recabling over here, though, which is fine. I don't think that's the end of the world. That's actually way less work than I'd have to do for some of the other locations that we could put the chests. So if we put the chests over there, right, and what we also have to do is ensure that they can output items. So let's get some of our item ducts attached to them, right? So this chest is going to go in this direction with items. This chest will go in... Well, actually, we could probably send them both upwards like that, and then simply use our crescent hammer to disconnect them. Let's just pick that one up, disconnect these two. Okay, so those are the two outputs for our chest. That's looking pretty good. Now what we can do is just do a little bit of fixing over here. Let's just make sure that we use the same blocks. Let's have a look. Where is that block? Do I have that shiny block? Yes, I do. I've been trying to keep all of the red alloy wiring on top of this this block, so it just makes it a little bit easier for me to see what's going on. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you have two lines of red alloy cabling like this, and you want to separate them so that they don't connect, you can do so using covers, which I showed you how to make in the previous episode. So that's pretty cool. Just a little bit of a advanced modded Minecraft tippage for you guys. But let's get that circuit reconnected. Okay, so that's connected. That's not interfering. Now we've got our two chest outputs. Okay, this is actually working out pretty decent, I think. Now, these two chest outputs are going to do different things. This one is going to send items into the sorting system, and this one is going to send items into the smeltery system, into the pulverization chamber, and into the redstone furnace array. So let's look up. How does that look? That doesn't look too bad. Of course, we'll have to cover everything around it so that you can't see through to the freaking sky, of course. But what we have to do now is do a little bit of intricate work, trying to figure out exactly how these item ducts are going to deliver their goods. And what we probably need to do, let's work on, let's try figure this out, okay? So it's pretty simple. We have got our redstone, we've got the smeltery array system that starts over here, right? It starts somewhere over here behind, yeah, there it is, okay? So there's the pipe. We'll have to do a bunch of block fixing here once we have got all of this cabling done. So our pipe work from that chest probably needs to run, okay, yeah, this is going to work. We'll make it run along here and around the corner and then down, and then we can keep all of the wedges and stuff down in the pulverization facility without breaking them. Okay, that's working out. Let's go up and get this laid down. You see, the thing about modded is that it feels super complicated, right? And super overwhelming a lot of the time. I often feel quite overwhelmed in modded, just because it can be so freaking complicated. But, you know, I've been watching a lot of BOO lately, one of my favorite Minecrafters, and he has a really, really good theory when it comes to making stuff that feels overwhelming in Minecraft. And his advice is to literally take a project one piece at a time, right? So don't think about the overall project, literally just focus in on the task that you have at the moment. And when you focus all of your energies on fixing a small task that makes a part of a bigger task, it makes it a lot easier. So in this case, we were just focused on trying to find a pipeline to run for our ore delivery line. And check it out, man, it's working out. It's working out, and it's not as complicated as I thought it was going to be. So thanks, BOO, for being so freaking awesome. But anyway, here we go. So we're going to connect this, boom, just like that. Actually, we could probably make it go down like that. Okay, sweet. And we'll do a lot of repair work down here to fix all of the damage that we've done. But that's looking good. So that is our ore delivery pipe, or our ore delivery chest sorted. Now what we need to do is work out the pipage for our sorting system delivery pipe. So let's zoom in on that. That's the problem that we have to work with right now. And I think this is going to be pretty easy to work on, because here is the pipe that is going to be delivering items into the sorting facility. So what we have to do is try and get that pipe up there connected to this pipe over here. And I'm thinking that maybe we need to swap these two lines around, right? We need to swap the leadstone flux ducts around with the item ducts, so that the item ducts will be closer to that input chest. And it should be easier to manage that way. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Things are getting easier. Just swap the two different pipes around, guys, and this is going to get us one step closer to connecting up our sorting system delivery chest into the actual system itself. So let's carry on going. I'm thinking probably what we need to do is just get this pipage as close to the doors as possible. So we probably go one more like so, and then we can probably, you know what? We could probably take it all the way to here, right? Yes, we could actually take it all the way to here. And the reason that I want to do that is because we can then send the item duct pipe that's going to connect up to the chest pipe into here, right? Under here. And that is less intrusive than if it was going in here, right? Which is actually the floor of the laboratory passageway. And this way it goes underneath the door, which I think is a lot neater. So just like that, but we're going to have to get down there, I think, to do a little bit of tunneling. Okay, so let's see. We're going to have to tunnel a little bit in this direction, I think. There we go. And we can probably, I don't know how much red alloy wire cabling is up there, but I'm going to have to go have a look. Let's have a look, okay? So now we go back up to the sorting system delivery chest line, and we need to get, this pipe over here pretty close to, let's try to figure out exactly where that pipe is. I think it's over here, isn't it? So if we come down and across, it's over here. Okay, so it's over here, right? So if we come all the way out like this, go all the way up. Man, this Silk Touch pickaxe is so awesome. Freaking sweet. Okay, so we go all the way up like this, right? Just expose exactly where this pipe needs to go. So that's where it needs to go, but that's obviously way too far out. Okay, so let's check it out. Maybe we could even bring it pretty close. We could probably do it here. No, there's red. Okay, there's cabling down there. What about over here in this line? Oh my goodness, this could actually work out, right? Any cabling attached here? No. Any cabling attached to this one? No, but I can't. Okay, let's try. Let's go down. Boom. Okay, nice. Now what we got to do is get this pipe, this item pipe, to go all the way up, past all of the redstone cabling. Nice. Okay, looking good, looking good. Now we just got to get these two connected, but I've only got 3 item ducts left. Dang it. Oh, put the kettle on, baby. I did it. It's looking awesome. Check it out, guys. Just made myself some more item ducts and just finishing off the piping over here, and everything is now connected. Our sorting system input chest is delivering into the line that goes in the corridor, and our ore input chest is delivering directly into the pulverization and smelting facilities. So that is looking freaking awesome. Super stoked about that, man. I was a little bit intimidated about getting that done, but it was actually not as difficult as I thought. What is worrying me, however, is the look of these two chests right now. I think they're looking a little bit janktastic, and I don't know how we're going to make them look a little bit better. Maybe you guys have some really cool ideas as to how we can make these chests look a little bit better. One of the big problems that I'm going to have is remembering which chest does what, and especially for visitors, man. you know, we can't just expect visitors to know exactly what chests are going where, right? I think that's probably a little bit too ambitious of us to expect that of our visitors, our cyber laboratory visitors. And I've already deposited some XP out of my butt into the tank. That's pretty awesome. What I did want to try though is using something called a hollow cover. Check it out, man. A hollow laboratory block cover. This looks pretty cool. And by the way, super easy to make. If we have a look at the recipe, hollow. Wait, what in the jazz? Oh, there we go. Hollow. Here we go. Like a hollow dry dirt cover, for example, is just sticking a whole bunch of covers together, right? It doesn't matter what cover it is. In this case, it's dirt, but you just stick 8 of your covers in this configuration, and it makes a hollow cover, which I think is pretty cool. Now, would we be able to do something like this? This could be pretty cool, right? There we go. Can I still access those chests? Yes! Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so maybe what we could do is use different colors, maybe, for the hollow covers. Like blue for sort, red for process, maybe. That could potentially work out, I think. Guys, I gotta tell you, man, I'm having an absolute blast playing some Survival Stories 3 with you guys today. Unfortunately, this weekend I got some pretty bad news, so I've had a rough couple of days, but playing some Minecraft always helps to take my mind off of stuff, and knowing that you guys are enjoying it out there too, it helps me out a lot. So yeah, I'm having a good time, man. Gonna just be playing all day today, doing a bit of recording and whatnot. But here we are in the Enchanting Facility, and I'm trying to find a way to make this place look more awesome. And one of my original plans was to use some facade action around the books, right? Because the books look really ugly in this sort of futuristic setting. I really hate the way the texture looks in the new Cyberlabs texture, or the new Cyberlabs design, rather. So what I was experimenting with is using wedges like this, but unfortunately, I think what happens with the wedges is they stop the enchanting levels. So for example, I was going to use these beautiful computers, this beautiful sort of computer texture, to upgrade our enchanting facility from like a medieval thing into a modern thing. You know, the thinking being that this enchanting book is getting all of its juice from the computers rather than from the books themselves. However, excuse me, just choking on my tea over there. Unfortunately, it looks like these wedges actually stop the enchanting bits going into the book. I thought that they might not because they're sort of invisible, or they're not full blocks, but unfortunately they do. So I'm going to have to try and figure out another way to pimp out this enchanting facility. Your ideas for this one will be very much welcome, my friends. What can we do to hide the shame of these horrendous looking books over here? Man, they look absolutely janktastic. But all of that aside, we have got a pretty cool thing that we're going to be working on right now, my friends. And I want to try and work on an XP gathering section right here inside of the enchanting facility, right? I want to create basically like a little chamber or something where you can gather the XP that you have deposited in the decontamination chamber up there, right? So I think that this is probably going to be a fairly simple build, and here's what I'm thinking, right? If we just sort of fix up a whole bunch of this stuff, let's just chisel ourselves a few of these enameled walls, and we make ourselves a little chamber in here, okay? So check it out. Let's just get some of this down like this, and I think we could probably make it look even more awesome by adding a bit of wedge action in here. By the way, the wedge, my new favorite block in modded Minecraft. Oh my goodness, it is so freaking awesome. I'm still trying to figure out how to... there it is. Yeah, still trying to figure out exactly how to work it. But I really do love the wedge, man. It is just so inspirational. I get so many... I go to sleep at night thinking about what I can do with wedges. I know that sounds crazy, but it's a thing. So check it out, right? We make for ourselves like a little chamber over here, okay? And I'm thinking what we do is the following. We apply the same kind of thinking that I wanted to apply to the enchanting room to here. So we put all of these behind here, but of course what we're going to need to do is add a little bit of glowage into this. So let's get some carpenter blocks out. I've been trying to keep as organized as possible. As you guys can see, I'm keeping most of my building materials in my golden bag of hold-in. I've already had a chat with Iskal about the situation in Survival Stories 3. My favorite modded Minecraft pack of all time, but there's one thing that I'm missing a lot, and that is recycling. Am I right? Currently there's no ways to recycle redundant items, and it's kind of making me a little bit crazy. I must admit, I really need to recycle stuff. What I did do is I made a little trash can over here. It's something that you can make in Survival Stories 3, and you can literally just drop items in here and they just disappear, but I kind of miss recycling. I want to recycle all of my items that I don't want anymore. Anyway, Iskal's thinking about it. He's thinking about it perhaps for a future release, which I think could be pretty awesome. But anyway, so check it out, right? So this is our little enchanting facility thingy. Okay, now what we're going to do, let's just finish it off all the way down like this. Okay. There we go. I don't know if these are the right textures though. We might want to use the, maybe we use the vents rather. Yeah, the computer screens don't really make that much sense to me actually. So let's use vents instead, I think. That should make more sense. You guys are probably thinking, ReNDoG, what in the name of all that is jazzy are you doing right now? It's all going to make sense in a moment, okay, my friends? It's all going to make sense. Okay, there we go. Vents installed. And now is when the awesomeness kicks in. Check it out, right? We get our XP tank, which we've made before. And let's get the tank in place like this, right? Yeah, that's looking pretty cool. So here's what I'm thinking. When you want to do some enchanting and some repairing, you come in here and you just right-click with an open hand and you'll suck out all of the XP out of this tank. I think that's pretty cool. I kind of want it to be deeper though. I want it to be deeper inside here. So let's do that. Let's send it a little bit deeper and see how that's going to look. Oh, it is coming on a treat, man. Yes, this is exactly what I'm thinking about right here, my friends. Check it out. Just made it a little bit deeper. It gave it more of like the same sort of feel that we've got going on throughout the Cyberlabs 2.0. Looking pretty cool. And here is where we are going to be installing our tank, right? So we're going to stick our XP tank in like this. And this is going to be filled with XP, right? Which is going to look really, really cool. It's going to be all greened up. And you'll be able to see how much XP has been gathered in here. So when we want to come and do some enchanting, we're literally going to come in here and right click on this tank, which is going to be fed from the decontamination chamber. So that is working out absolutely awesomely, and we could probably do a whole bunch of really cool facade work here too. Just get a couple of these computers around, just jam them in there like that. You know, Chisel is such a weird mod. Like once you start getting into it, your brain kind of just clicks with the mod, if that makes sense. You just kind of learn and you just kind of figure out exactly what mods or what blocks are going to be working really, really well. Jeez, man, that was some serious lag over there, which is absolutely amazing. It's one of the things I'm enjoying most about Chisel. And I've only gotten my brain around one section of Chisel, which is the laboratory blocks. And of course, there are hundreds other sets also that I cannot literally wait to get my freaking teeth into, man. It's going to be absolutely awesome when we figure out all of the amazing stuff that we can do with Chisel. But let me get this chamber finished off here, guys, and then we're going to work on the really cool bit, which is figuring out how to connect this tankage up to the tankage in the decontamination chamber. Yes! Oh, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Loving the little bit of blue over here too. It's going to look so cool with the green inside of the tank over here. Yeah, looking good, my friends. Really happy with how this room has turned out. Next step is for us to try and figure out how we are going to connect this tank up to the tank up at the decontamination chamber. And I got to tell you, man, this is one of the tasks that I have at least been looking forward to, because this is going to be kind of tricky. We're just going to have to go for it though, you know, YOLO this sucker, and literally dig a tunnel underneath the Cyberlabs. And we have to try and figure out exactly how this is going to connect up. I'm going to actually use the map right now, right? I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we can see on the map, top right-hand side, that the exit that we are working on, the Star Trek sliding doors, is to the top there, right? To the top of where I am situated. So let's try and line up this tunnel somewhere in the middle. It's probably like there. That feels like it's in, yeah, that feels like it's in the middle, right? Or maybe that's a little bit too far. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, that feels like it's in the middle. Now the theory is this tunnel should run directly underneath the decontamination chamber. And the theory is that we will somehow be able to connect the tank in the decontamination chamber to the tank in the enchanting facility. Let's see if we can do it. I do love it when a plan comes together, my friends. Just using the pixel power of that map, we have run this tunnel directly underneath one of the decontamination chamber XP tanks. It's going to be the one in this row, which is amazing. Now, of course, the challenge is going to be to try and get that tank connected to that delivery tunnel. Let's get ourselves into the sliding door. And yes, I know the place is looking janktastic at the moment, guys. We're going to fix it up. Don't you worry, okay? We're going to fix it up something fierce. Okay, so, and it's actually perfect, right? Because if the tunnel had run under this one, we wouldn't have been able to do it because, of course, there is redstone under here. So the tunnel actually had to run directly under this XP tank, which is amazing. Now, if we dig straight down here, we should theoretically drop into that tunnel. And yes, we do. Okay, perfect. That's amazing. Okay, so there's the XP tank. We probably don't have to... Yeah, we are going to have to run it this deep. I was thinking we might be able to raise the tunnel a few blocks, but of course, the enchanting chamber is much deeper than the entrance. So yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. I know the question on all of your damn CyberDog lips right now is, ReNDoG, how are you going to move the XP from that tank to the tank inside of the enchanting facility? Well, guess what, my friends? It's actually easier than you might think. The XP currently in that tank over there is liquid XP. And of course, in Survival Stories 3, there is a way to move liquid just like we move items in the sorting facility. And we move liquid by using something called a transfer pipe. And a transfer pipe looks a little something like this to create. Very simple. Bit of slabbage, bit of glass, bit of redstone, and that makes you 8 transfer pipes, which is amazing. Now, a transfer pipe is able to hold and deliver or pull liquid out of a tank or out of anything that deals with liquid. But in order for a transfer pipe to work, it needs something called a node. Right? And as we can see over here, we have 2 different types of nodes. We've got a transfer node for items, and we have a transfer node for liquids. And the transfer node for liquids is what we are interested in making. And as you can see, it's a fairly expensive little recipe, but we're only going to need one of these little suckers over here, right? So let's quickly craft one up. We're going to need one of those transfer pipes, a block of redstone, some lapis, a bucket, and some iron. I've actually got all of this stuff in my inventory in preparation. I know my inventory looks like an absolute mess right now, guys, but trust me, there is order to this chaos. There we go. We're going to put our block of redstone in there, and we need one of these transfer pipes. Boom! Going to make for ourselves a transfer node. Now, it makes complete sense, right? You can't just sellotape a pipe to the side of a tank and expect the liquid to come out of that tank, right? It needs to have some sort of an output, and that's what we're going to do there. Hang on. What? Where did that... Huh? Okay, not sure what happened there. Transfer node just disappeared, but we're going to try again. Hold shift. Okay, there we go. Now it's connected. And it actually looks so freaking awesome, guys. I got to show you this. And again, we're just using different systems in Modded at the moment. I think there are other ways to transfer liquid, but this just looked the coolest to me. Look at that, man. It actually looks like it's going to be sucking something out of there, right? And now the easy part comes, right? Now all we have to do is pipe this sucker all the way to the tank in the enchanting facility. So if we hold shift, we can see that we add a pipe to it. How cool does that look, right? Oh, and by the way, you can input improvements or upgrades into these nodes to like improve the speed in which they suck materials out or suck liquid out. There's a whole bunch of upgrades that we can do, but for now we're just going to keep it nice and simple, right? All we need to do now, of course, is to run this pipe all the way back, all the way down into our little service tunnel down here, which looks pretty cool. And my OCD is starting to kick in because the service tunnel's looking kind of ugly, right? And I might have to change all of the textures down here to laboratory blocks, but let's just try keep focused at the moment. ReNDoG, don't lose your focus. Let's get this pipe run all the way to the Enchanting Facility. This pipe is going to be transferring that delicious XP from our decontamination chamber all the way into our Enchanting Facility thingy, where we'll be able to get all of the levels back. I guess it's, what can we call it? I suppose it's the upgrade center? I don't know, it's got to be something like that, right? Right, let's just definitely fix that. OCD's not going to allow that to happen. Okay, let's carry on running this pipage. There we go, we're getting there. I love running pipes in modern Minecraft. I don't know why. Just floats my boat, man. Floats my freaking boat. Are we going to have enough pipage for this? Oh, we're going to be short. We're going to be short by like 2. Oh, say it ain't so. Yep, short by 2. By the power of the internet, just crafted myself another 2 of these transfer pipes, and we can now finish the connection over here. So check it out, my friends. We are going to just simply put our transfer pipe into our new XP tank over here. You can see it does a little connection, like a little sucker connection, which is awesome. And now all we have to do is get the jazz out of here like this and complete the connection like so. Now the transfer node connected to the XP pump in the decontamination chamber is sucking that liquid out. Because we've completed the connection, it doesn't need a redstone signal or anything like that to actually work. It'll just work. As you can see, the XP is arriving in our brand new little XP chamber thing over here, which is amazing. That is so freaking awesome. Okay, let's get back up here and finish off the whole build. So we're going to need a carpenter's block in here, I think. Yep. We're going to lose a few blocks here, I think, but that's okay. Let's just get out of here like this, and let's just finish off this build. There, the XP is gathering and awaiting for us to suck it out and use in our enchanting facilities. This has just turned out so freaking awesome. I'm so pleased with this. Okay, let's get some of this action going. Like that's just so that we can complete the look over here. There we go. Beautiful. Now, let's get a little bit of this block down here just to complete the whole thing. And there we go, my friends. This sucker should now be working 100%. And I want to test it, okay? So let's get a little bit of XP out of here, if we can. What the jazz? Okay, just figured out the problem here, my friends. The XP tank doesn't recognize itself as a full tank. Even though it looks like it's a full tank, it's actually different segments, and you need to be able to pull the XP from the individual segments. So this tank went 1 block further down there, which is why we couldn't access that XP. But what I've done is I've just raised it up and I've reconnected the pipe, because now we can actually access both of these XP tanks over here, right? So for example, if we go back to the decontamination chamber now and deposit our XP, which is what we're going to do, we should see the XP arrive inside of this tank. So let's test this out right here, right now, my friends. See if this is going to work. So just make believe, make pretend that we have just got back from an adventure. Right, we've come to the decontamination chamber. We're decontaminating our asses. We just dropped off all of our liquid XP directly into the chamber, and now when we head back into the enchanting facility, we should see all of that delicious XP landing in this tank. It takes a little bit of time to transfer, of course. It's flowing through all of that tunnel, through all of that pipage underneath the cyber labs. It's traveling, and we can munch on a toasted sandwich right now while we wait. And it should be arriving at any moment now. Come on, XP, baby. Get into the damn tank. There it is. Nice. And there the XP has arrived in the from the decontamination chamber, rather, which is absolutely amazing. What we might need to do is perhaps set up, you know what we could actually do? We could set up 2 more of these inside here, right? We could set up one here and one here. And that way we'll be able to store up a bunch of XP. Of course, now we'll only be able to store up 2 tankfuls of XP, or 16,000 MBs. And what I'd like to do is be able to store a little bit more of that. So I'm probably going to work on that off camera. because that's just a little bit of grind work. But guys, I am so pleased with the progress that we have made today. Looking absolutely awesome. I've broken a bunch of stuff around here though, as you can see, so I've got a bunch of repair work to get to, but I'm going to do that all off camera, so the next time we are together, this place is going to be looking jazzy, my friends. Thank you so much for watching this episode. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, you hit that subscribe button, and make sure to go check out Escal85's Survival Stories 3 series and our brand new family member of Survival Stories 3, Stress Monster 101. Check out the link in the description. Go and send her a subscription, and you're going to love her content, man. She's awesome. Thank you so much for watching, my friends. It's been ReNDoG playing Modern Minecraft Survival Stories 3. We will see you all in the next episode.